Guys, this is going to be first of a new series of videos. This is going to be me, at least my playthrough of Dawn of War Dark Crusade. I figured it's not a very current game. I mean, Jesus Christ, it came out, well, I don't know what year, but some time ago. And nobody's really that interested in watching it that much, except for some strange people. I originally started recording my entire playthrough of the series, but decided that really there isn't much entertainment value to that. So instead, I've decided to aim specifically for the strongholds, the enemy bases, kind of the big missions, the biggest missions that you do in the game. I'm playing as necrons and on normal difficulty. So let's get into it.
When the tide of war turned against the Tau, they faced attack in their stronghold in the city of Asharis, renamed Tarshan by the aliens.
I hope you like the transitions. I really do just throw them in at the last minute.
Okais, are the troops ready?
Yes, Arnell. The Earthcast is completing construction of the Montcar command post. Our armored units are ready to deliver the killing blow.
And our Kroot allies?
Also ready, Arnell. The Kayun command post in the city's Kroot quarter is prepared, and the Shapers have readied the finest of their warriors. Stealth teams are taking position across the city, ready to strike where the enemy is weak. Strike teams of fire warriors and Kroot packs will defend the streets and meet the enemy head on.
Excellent, Commander. Patch me through to the troops, please.
Soldiers of the Firecast, Kroot and Vespid allies, today we stand as a bulwark against the selfish, the soulless, and the mad. Today, we must drive back our enemies from our city and from our world. Today, more than ever before, we fight for the greater good, and we will triumph.
So here we go. I have a couple of honor guards.
Return to the graves that spawned you, monsters.
Gladly, but first we must help you to yours.
Honor guards are special units that you gain and are allowed to use from the beginning of a game, from territories that you gain on the roadmap. I only have a small handful of honor guards here because this is the first stronghold I fought, and I haven't got many territories in the first place. So builder scouts, the Necron builder unit, and immediately you get attacked straight away. This is a common thing. This is a trend in enemy strongholds. You kind of need honor guard because you get attacked right from the instant of you starting. So you need your honor guards there as a first defense before you can actually make any actual troops.
Open fire! A good fight. Open fire! Pick your targets. Command posts, report.
Montcar command post online, Chazo. Crisis suits ready for combat.
The Kion post is safe in the crew quarter. We will defend it, Commander.
Excellent. Send strike teams at the enemy, but protect your positions.
See, I don't know if you noticed, but during the fighting I've managed to capture the requisition points, the strategic points actually, they're called, and able to build listening posts on them, or at least the necron versions of listening posts, which are called monoliths. Necron's kind of weird in this respect, because it's their builder unit that captures these points, whereas normally it's most infantry units that can, but only the necron builders can in this case. And so as soon as I've built the obelisks, I can then upgrade them to gain the ability to do this big sort of plasma bolt occasionally. I'll do it here. And if you upgrade them again, they will shoot as an automated turret.
Choose your targets and attack.
See, what I'm starting to build now are the Gorsa turrets. I think that's how they're pronounced. They are the Necron's turret fortification. Every race in the game has one, except Tau, I believe. The Necrons can't build as many turrets as the other races, but they are stronger. Or at least it appears to be. gathering all the troops back inside the defences. 'Cause, I mean, the defences are more easily repaired than the troops are. So here with the Forbidden Archive, this is essentially the Necrons version of the Armory, where you can buy upgrades for your units. However, you can't, because again the Necrons are quite weird in terms of mechanics in this game. They are quite unlike the other races, and the way that the Necron Armory or the Forbidden Archive works is instead you can buy special abilities for your Necron Lord, the commander unit. You can only have 3, so you've got to make that decision. You can't go back on the decision as well. And so the way it works is that as you upgrade your HQ, more of the Forbidden Archive's abilities are available to choose from. My 3 favourites I typically go for in a normal game is an ability which allows the Necron Lord to call a lightning strike, which does a decent amount of damage to a decent number of troops in the area. Then there's an ability which increases his health regeneration and reduces the amount of damage he takes from ranged units, which is especially useful because the Tau almost exclusively are made up of ranged units, with the exception of some Kroot warriors. And thirdly, I like using the resurrection ability, which I find some interesting mechanics behind it, but we'll see them later on. Is me using the resurrection ability, for the first time. So that's generated quite a few more Necron warriors that have died. They're all back up again. So a common mechanic with the Necrons is that their method of getting units is somewhat strange. For instance, they only have one type of currency, which is energy produced by them round buildings, the green lights, whereas every other race has another currency called requisition, which you gain from building the monoliths, or at least the different races' equivalent of. Instead, by capturing requisition points and building monoliths on them, Necrons speed up their building ability. They make it faster to build buildings and make units and stuff. You notice as well, you may have noticed, that the Necron warriors cost no money to produce, which you'd think is kind of strange. It's just a free unit. Bear in mind they are the worst unit in the Necron arsenal, but also as you build more and more, it takes longer and longer to build them. And it works similarly with the energy buildings that the Necron makes. Initially, the first one costs no money, and then each time it costs 20 more energy to make, but also takes exponentially longer to build, to the point where on your 10th or your 12th or your 15th, it takes at least 3 minutes to build one of these energy grids. There's my first encounter with a Tau base. It's not an actual base per se, it is just like a mini base, a heavily fortified position, but it is my first attempt at getting some land. So here I'm using Essence of a Nightbringer for the first time. And once he's in this form, he is completely immortal, and does a fair amount of damage. So my intention here is that I'm fully aware that the Necron Lord will die. The Necron have a special interesting mechanic where when you rebuild a new commander, instead it just revives the old one where he's already standing. So my intention now is to build up my army again and make another assault on the fortified position, where I can revive my Necron Lord and then almost immediately resurrect all the dead units that are around him for like the third or fourth time. I think they'll just rather die at this point, but I'm not giving them that satisfaction. It's quite satisfying using the special ability for the obelisk. He just sends them flying. Does a lot of damage, but just sends them flying. My intention as well now is to take this fortified position for my own and build a base here. You can see now, actually, if you look at the top right, that my unit cap is actually my unit limit. If you look to the top right, you can actually see in flashing red that my number of units is actually greater than my unit cap, and this is a bit of an exploit you can make as the Necron with the resurrect ability, where you can, and it's not something that I actually successfully pulled off in this game, but you can build a whole army, send it to the enemy base and let them die, then build another army, send it to the enemy base, and then revive the old army as well. And you've got, like, you can almost get double the maximum amount of units you're allowed. You get basically 2 armies. As I say, it's not something I successfully pulled off in this game. I attempted it, but we'll see that in a minute.
It'll be good to have that strength.
In case you was wondering about a line said there by Kroot Soldier, or it might be a Kroot Hound or something, says, "You're strong. It would be good to have that strength." Interesting bit of lore, in case you're interested. The Kroot Hounds, or the way I believe some of the Kroot work, is that they eat enemies and almost gain their DNA to add to their own. The Kroot Hounds, however, are Kroot soldiers that have kind of worked themselves into a genetic dead end where they can't actually develop any further. What I've done is I've sent my units to go and attack I think it's the monk car outpost or something, kind of the big base, like kind of their secondary base. However, one thing I do have seemed to have forgotten is you may have actually
to prevail against the greater good.
I realise almost instantly I've made a mistake at this point. There's so many invisible units here. Normally as I've done previously, I've had my Necron Lord teleport around. He can, because one of his abilities that I've granted him with unit upgrades outside of the individual match, he has the ability to see infiltrated units. There is no way I can get him to deal with all of them. So at this point I try and I just kind of accept that them units are dead. However, this does bring me on to the next point, which is the centre point, the Unity Plaza, I believe it is, the one with that big broadcasting system in it, is that if I take that part of the map, all of their infiltrated units will become no longer infiltrated and nowhere near as much of a hassle. At this point, I just realised that the units can actually come up from behind that base. Which is a bit of a surprise, to be honest. I didn't actually expect this. I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, I have to change my strategy now. So I have my Necron Lord dealing with some infiltrated units, and now I've initiated the next step. I've told all my units to go over to the broadcasting center and realize maybe I should deal with these enemies here first. So I've given them new orders about 3 seconds after they've gotten them ones. Additionally, with the broadcasting center, it opens a new way for me to get into the enemy base, because I either have to go through the broadcasting center in the middle of the map or through the Monkar base on the left of the map. The enemy sub base on the right side of the map kind of isn't really in the way. It's almost just off to the side. But to actually get to the enemy base, I kind of need to go through either of them. So I've regenerated a number of Necron warriors from here. I'm going to coalesce all my armies together now and strike. And of course, as soon as I plan to go in for the big strike, my base gets attacked by a fairly considerable force. I didn't really want to damage the units defending, so I limited them and kept them at the back and kind of just waited it out, to be honest. You can also see here, probably noticed earlier I focused on it, but one of the Necron vehicles, to say this, I call them vehicles, but they're just one of the units, has the ability to possess an enemy vehicle. So I chose one of the missile gunships. There we go. Actually attacking now. This is the only other problem with the Necrons, actually. Their units are so slow. They move so slowly. But their vehicles are actually really quite fast. So it makes it very difficult to try and keep them all together. In fact, because my vehicles are going to have to sit here for a while, I'm have to go ahead and deal with these infiltrated units that normally wouldn't have been much of a problem, would have just gone straight past, but I'm going to have to do something about it whilst we wait for the rest of my units to catch up. There we go. Yeah, maybe that was a slight mistake. It went straight right into the middle of it, so it was immediately enabled the essence of the Nightbringer just to let's survive for a little bit, you know.
Team leaders, engage the enemy.
Seems like the second base is taking a bit of a beating, you know. They're, the tower launched an attack whilst my army is out.
Enemy has taken the Unity Plaza communications array. Team Sigma, they are targeting the array to disrupt your stealth fields. Fall back.
Missiles are hot. Hurry up. There's not much left. Missiles locking on.
Now see, this kind of annoyed me actually. I instructed my units to go and attack charge on their main base. However, the cinematic happened. They're all dispersed and they're all just getting destroyed. It's quite unfortunate. But I suppose with a game this old, I can't be asking for too much. So now I've been trying to amass my army again after they were destroyed. Well, that failed. So at least semi-destroyed on that failed attempt at attacking the enemy base. So now I'm just sending in my Necron leader, the Necron Lord, as recon. However, something kind of annoying happened here. You've noticed me kind of looking around for a bit. Is that his second teleport just didn't happen. This can happen, of course, if he's been knocked over or if he's been killed. I mean, he obviously hasn't, but it still used the point. It still used the meter to actually make the teleportation, but didn't make the teleportation. So now he's going to be more hurt than he had to be to fend off these crews.
Inside the citadel, crisis suits attack.
The army I'm amassing, the infantry at least, is mostly immortals. These are Necron's best ranged infantry. They only come in maximum groups of 5. They don't have a massively impressive health, but they do so much damage, it's amazing. Now with the Tau, where you win with the towers, you have to kill their ethereal, or an El Shiore, I believe it is. I figured I may as well just try and deal some damage to it. I don't know if it was a problem with some of the timings, as if I haven't done enough of the side objectives or something, or if it's how it's supposed to work, or if it was a bug, but he just runs around in circles, and he is so hard to hit. And when you tell units to attack him, they don't really bother. Of course, my Lord is dead now. So, what's my plan now? My plan now is to get my army of immortals and destroyers and stuff, have them attack the enemy base, try and punch a hole as far in as I can. Then once they're all dead, I make an army of flayed ones, which are Necron melee units, with large-ish groups, so they're good for just taking up space. They do a lot of damage, and more importantly, they can be spawned anywhere on the map that you can see. So what I'll do is I'll take my entire army over to the enemy base, punch a hole into it as far as I can, and then spawn an army of flayed ones around my Necron commander, my Necron Lord. Jesus Christ, the amount of dead Tau outside the secondary base here is... God. You'd think they'd just give up by now, but I mean, this is their capital city, so, and their planet.
Engage the enemy.
You see what I'm... If you notice what I'm doing here, this is because when the Flayed Ones units are created, they only have 4 in their unit. And when you spawn them in somewhere, they're only going to have 4. So what I've done is I've spawned them next to the base, reinforce them up to 8 or whatever the unit cap is, put them back in the base, and then spawn them near the Necron Lord. See, these hammerhead gunships are the Tau's, like one of the Tau's strongest vehicles. God, the immortals are just plowing through them. So there we go, after I've just killed these Kroot units here, time to send them into the enemy base, punch a hole as far as I can. You may notice, however, that the Tau base is very, very well garrisoned. They aren't going to get that far in. I know that now, but let's just see how far. Oh, it would seem they don't get any further than the door. So, on with the plan. Time to make more, time to make Flayed Ones.
forces. Fall back. Evacuate the city. We will return on El to Tau for burial. There is nothing left for us here.
In the clash between the young Tau Empire and the ancient evil of the Necrons, antediluvian determination won out over youthful exuberance. For all the tactical skill of Commander Okais, the Necron wave was unstoppable, and they purged Asharis just as they had all other regions before it. The retreat of the Tau forces left the remaining civilian population of Asharis unprotected from the Necron purge. Once their cold-blooded slaughter completed, however, the Necrons simply abandoned the city and its surrounding communities to the ages. Automated vid systems still broadcast images from the desolate streets, the bleached bones of Tau, Kroot, and humans lying still in the ash-strewn streets.